Then it comes to the end of your career, and you've said publicly it was earlier than you'd wanted it to be. You came out on Raw 8 days after WrestleMania in Atlanta in 2011, and you have to retire. Can you talk a little bit about finding out that you have to retire and how you process that when you're so close to the end, but you're kind of getting your ending taken away from you?
Yeah, I mean, I could look at it that way, or I could look at it as, okay, so my last match was defending the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Worst ways to go. And that's how I had to look at it, because when something is taken out of your power, you know, when there's no choice in the matter, it makes it easier. I don't and didn't have to sit there and debate, is this the last match? Can I have more match? If they throw this amount of money at me, will I come back for one more match? That's out of the cards. And when you realize that's the case, you really quickly have to accept that and try to move on with your life. And that doesn't mean that you give up and don't enjoy the industry anymore or any of those things, or not do a night like this and realize everything that the wrestling business has given you. That's not the case. But you have to have some kind of healthy forward movement. Otherwise, you're not going to be in a very good place emotionally. Now, when I found out, I had just moved into a new home, and I was sitting on my deck, and I got a call, and it's Vince. And he goes, this is the hardest phone call I've ever had to make, but you have to retire. It wasn't all that shocking to me, because of all of those bumps that have been, you know, that I said that I took in that 8 years that after I came back from a double fusion. The fact that I came back from a double fusion, I mean, that everything from that double fusion on is just icing on the cake, because people don't really come back from double fusions. I think Austin came back for a year and a half. You know, I was still taking tombstones and those FUs and those choke slams and everything for 8 more years. So I knew deep down inside that every time I took a bump, it was shortening it. It wasn't a massive shock to me that it was over. Would I have liked to have finished out the year on my contract? Would I have liked to have, you know, had Jay, who's a dick, it's never going to be forgotten, he's a dick, cost me the world championship against Del Rio, and eventually, you know, my plan was that after costing me the championship, eventually it leads to a retirement match at WrestleMania where he retires me. Would have loved for that. It wasn't in the cards, and you have to accept that. And in retiring, have acting fall in your lap. And then from there, you know, I think about my life since retirement. I've had 2 beautiful little girls. I have, you know, a sketch comedy wrestling show.
You have a glamazon of a wife. I remembered you, Beth, don't you worry.
You know, a podcast, you know, I get to be a Viking. Like, these are all amazing things, and it's all happened in 8 years. It really feels like a brand new life. But I also know that the reason that I can have that life is because of everything that happened in my wrestling life. So it's all good.